In lesson number 23 of 5-Minute Theory is basically a review of note values. So if you know that a quarter note is 1 count, a half note is 2 counts, a dotted half note is 3 counts, a whole note is 4 counts, and then an eighth note is only half of 1 count. If you remember all of those values and you know how to do music math, this is pretty simple. Let's start off by writing your name at the top of the page. Again, my name is Mark W. I could spell it out, just in case. Every time I go to a restaurant, they do not know how to spell Wessels. And I'm tired of being weasels, so don't call me weasels. All right, so in these measures, all I'm doing is sometimes missing a note in the measure. So I'm going to figure this out by writing the counts in under the notes and then figuring out if I'm missing a note or not. If whatever note I'm missing, I'm going to draw 1 note to equal that, to finish the measure. Boy, that was a long explanation. All right, should have just read it to you. All right, so I'm in 4/4 time, okay? 1 and. Remember that 2 eighth notes together is 1 count. So here is 2, 3, and 4. So I'm missing something. I'm only missing a half a count. So I can either draw my eighth note with a flag on it, or I can connect my eighth note to the other 3 eighth notes. All right, next measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Not missing anything there, right? Next measure, 1 and. What am I missing? 2, 3, 4. So I'm missing a note with 3 counts. Notice I said note, not rest. So half note gets 2 counts. Dotted half note gets 3 counts. Next measure, 1, 2, oo is 3. I'm missing my count 4. So what gets 1 count? A quarter note. All right, this is pretty simple. It's just basically music math. You just have to remember, especially that eighth notes are only half of a beat. So if you're missing an eighth note, it'll be half a beat short. All right, number 2, remember to check your time signature. I'm in 3/4 time. So the first measure, 1, is 3 counts. Next measure, 1. So I'm missing a count, 3, but only 1 count. Counter note gets 1 count, quarter note. Next measure, 1, 2, and 3. Am I missing anything? Doesn't look like it. Next measure, 1 and 2, and. I'm missing 3. Only 1 count, so I'm going to draw my quarter note. 1, 2, and 3. Not missing anything. Ooh, I'm missing 1, 2, 3. So what kind of note gets 3 counts? A dotted half note. All right. So some of this is just remembering what your note values are. Some of it is getting used to drawing it legibly in the staff that I have here. All right, and number 3, now it's add 1, rest. So it's exactly the same. So I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. 1, 2, 4, right? Because half notes get 2, 2, 3. All right, next measure, 1, 2. So I'm missing how many counts? Well, I really did this line kind of wrong. Should have been 2 evenly spaced. So now, remember that I'm drawing a rest, not a note. So a half rest sits on the line. Okay, don't draw a half note, draw a half rest. Next measure, 1, 2, 3, 4 and, or forte. Okay, that measure is complete, yeah. 1 and, 2, 3. I'm missing count 4. So count 4 would be a rest, but a quarter rest. Remember how to draw the quarter rest. 1, so I'm missing something here. And then 3, 4, and. So I'm missing 1 count, which would be a quarter rest on count 2. And this measure, I've got 2 things. I could draw 1 thing. I'm really just missing 1 rest, so that should just be 1 line. What kind of rest gets 4 counts? A whole rest. So remember that the whole rest holds on to the line. You got to be really careful not to make it fill in the entire measure. Okay, number 4. I'm still in 4/4 time. So my dotted half note is 1, 2, 3. I'm resting on count 4, which is only one count. Remember, it's a rest, not a note. Okay, here's 1, here's 2, 3, and 4. So that measure is complete. 1, 2, so I'm missing 3 and 4, so 2 counts is a half rest. You have to be really dainty with the half rest to get it in that little spot. Next measure, 1 and 2. I'm missing something there, and then I've got a quarter note at the end. So I'm only missing one count. Kind of rest gets one count. Quarter rest. What kind of rest fills up an entire measure of 4/4? A whole rest. Have to be really careful. And then my last measure, 1, 2, 3, 4. So my dotted half note gets 3 counts. So that measure is complete. All right, if you have that down, you kind of figure out how all of that works, turn over to the back side, and we're going to do a rhythm crossword. Okay, on the second half of lesson number 23, we're going to use rhythms, but this time we are drawing notes to kind of fill in a crossword puzzle, okay? It's really kind of the same thing. I just came up with this idea of how else can I teach rhythm? How else can I reinforce note values? And here it is. So you're going to draw the notes and rests that answer the questions, okay? Pretty simple. Number 1, draw enough quarter notes to fill a measure of 4/4 time. So I'm doing 1 across here. So there's already 1 quarter note. How many do I need to draw? 2, 3, 4. So I should have 4 total in 4/4 time. All right, let's go down instead of all the way across. All right, number 2, finish a measure in 2/4 time. So on number 2 here, I've got a quarter note and an eighth note. So that's 1.5 counts. So I need how many more? 1 more half count. This is kind of tricky sometimes, yeah? All right, we're on number 3. Draw a note to finish a measure in 3/4 time. All right, so I'm on number 3. I have 1/2 plus 1/2 equals 1. I already have 1 count. It's in 3/4 time, so I need 2 counts. That would be a half note. Tricky, tricky. All right, down, number 3. Finish a measure in 4/4 time. All right, so I'm doing number 3 down. So half note is 2 counts. Finish a measure, I've got 2 spaces here. So I need 2 separate notes that equal 2 counts. Not 2 counts each, but 2 counts together. So 1, 2. So a half note equals 2 counts. Quarter is 3, quarter is 3, or 4, so that's 4 counts. So that finished the measure in 4/4 time. Isn't this fun? It's a little tricky to kind of wrap your head around how this works, all right? Number 5 across. Finish a measure in 4/4 time. All right, so I have half of a count. A quarter rest is another count, 1.5. A quarter note is a count. That's 2.5 counts. So I know that I need that half count, right? That would make it 3. And now my last box here is 1 count. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, if I counted it, 1 and rest, 3, 4. All right, you getting the hang of this? Okay, where am I at? Number 4 down. Number 4. Draw the number of quarter rests that equal a dotted half note. So you have to know a dotted half note gets how many counts? 3. So let's draw 3 quarter rests. 1, 2, and then 1's already there. 3. Okay? Getting used to drawing those dotted half notes. Let's go ahead and do 6 down since it's right here. To finish this 2/4 measure, draw 2 notes that equal 1 count when added together. That's a lot of verbiage here. So finishing a measure in 2/4, I'm drawing 2 notes that equal 1 count. If I have 2 notes that equal 1 count, what kind of notes would they be? Well, I'm basically dividing 1 count into 2 parts, and so I know that my notes would be eighth notes. All right, does that make sense? So I'm in 2/4 time, and number 6, here's count 1, 2, and. So that's how that works. I should erase those dots because a dot means something different. All right, go back across to number 7. Draw a rest to finish a measure in 3/4 time. So here's number 7. I have a quarter rest, so that's 1 count. So I need 1 rest that equals 2 counts. Yeah? This is not easy for those who are not really thinking hard. All right, number 9 across. Now let's go to 8 down. 8 down. Finish a measure in 4/4 time. Now here's 8 right here. So half rest is 2. Quarter note is 3. So finish a measure. I just need another count, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. That is correct. 9 across. 9 across. 4 of these equal 2 counts in quarter time. So I've got 2 counts, but I need 4 notes. So if I think backwards and I think about, now I'm thinking about there's 1/8 note in number 9. Okay, so I would probably need another, but I need 4 notes to equal 2 counts. So 4/8 notes. All right, 9 down. When this measure is finished, it equals 1 measure in 4/4 time. So finish the measure in 4/4 time. So 9 down, 2/8 notes equal 1 count, half note equals 2 counts. So that's 3, so I just need 1 note. All right. Let's keep going down here because I've got these. 10. Finish this measure with rest to equal 9 counts. 9 counts. Wow, 9 counts. All right, so this one is 4. This is 5. So 5 minus 9 is 4. So then I've got 2 types of rest that equal 4 counts. 1 rest would be a whole rest, but I know that I'm thinking of 2 counts and 2 counts. So both of those would be my half rest. Okay? And let's go ahead and finish the down real quick. We got number 11. Finish this off to equal 11 beats in quarter time. Ooh, finish it off. We are here. There is no finishing it off. But I need 11 beats. All right, so I know with 3 rest in here, I can't do a lot of small rests. I probably got to do a big rest. So let me do a whole rest. The whole rest is 4 counts. So 11 minus 4 equals 7. So I need 7 more. All right. How many? I got 2 rests to do. So let me do another whole rest. All right. Minus 4 equals 3. So my last rest needs to be 3 counts. Well, I know what 2 counts is. So if I want to make it 3, I got to put a dot behind that half rest. Okay. That's pretty tricky. Dotted half rest is the same as a dotted half note, count-wise. All right, number 11 across. So let's find number 11. Here we go. This way, finish the measure in 4/4 time. Ooh, notice that this is not correct. I have a whole rest and a quarter note, so that would be how many counts? 5. Ooh, so I have to erase this. That would need to be, and I have to erase this, so I have to switch those 2. Ah, tricky, tricky. Dotted half rest plus a quarter note equals 4/4. Whole note, and now I need another whole note. Really pretty whole notes too. I probably should have done 11 across first, and then I would have figured it out. Number 12 across. So I'm here. All right. 3 of these rest equals 6 counts in quarter time. So I have a half. So I need all 3 to be the same. So 6 divided by 3 equals 2. So I need 3 half rests. All right, 13 across. Finish a measure in 4/4 time. So here's a half. I got 2 more. I can do that. I can do that. either way. And number 14, add these 3 notes together to equal 10 counts in quarter time. All right, so we're starting with a whole. So 10 minus 4 equals 6. So now I need 6 more counts. So I could do a whole and a half, or I could add these 3 notes together. Well, that's a rest. So how did that work? I guess I messed that up. Okay, I could have drawn. That means that this is not a whole rest. That means this is a whole note. All right, so 3 notes together equals 10 counts. So I could do another whole note. So 6 minus 4 equal 2, and then a half note. Okay, 2 minus 2 equals, okay, 10. So that could be a whole plus a dotted half plus a dotted half. Okay, it could be, that's basically it. Could be rest either. All right, so a lot of tricky stuff in there, and really makes you think about note values. Kind of blows your mind a little bit, but that's the purpose of this, is to really make you focus on how these things work, so that when you're reading music, it's very simple to read rhythms, because you know how note values work. Okay, if you got that, first of all, congratulations. If you did get that, or if you didn't get it, go back and see if you can kind of figure it out. If you did get it, go on to the next lesson.